Welcome back to Straight Talk. I'm Laurel Porter. We're talking about the addiction epidemic, how to tackle the crisis and transform Oregon into a state of recovery. Welcome once again to my guest, Heidi Wallace, Executive Director of Oregon Operations for the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation, and Mike Marshall, Executive Director of Oregon Recovers. Once again, it's great to have you both here. Let's talk about getting into a rehab center. And Congress held a hearing last month about patient brokering and deceptive advertising and marketing practices. So let's listen to what Oregon Congressman Greg Walden had to say at that hearing, and then I'll get your take on it.
In fact, in my own district out in Oregon, a father named Mike told me about the troubling experience he had when his son was seeking treatment for addiction. The recovery center that his son went to was located in another state. And he said it seemed more interested in cashing the check than actually caring for his son. As the committee dove deeper into the advertising and marketing practices within this industry, we found a Pandora's box of online advertisements, websites, phone numbers, lead generators, call centers, television commercials. In some cases, an individual company or companies may own dozens and dozens of websites, and some of these websites contain different 1-800 numbers, despite all being owned by the same person or all leading to the same treatment company.
That sounds so frustrating. How big of a problem is this, Heidi?
Well, this is a huge problem, and I know firsthand because our CEO is sitting on that panel actually advocating for the ethical behavior in our everybody taking action around ethical behavior. So we're right there at the forefront really trying to emphasize how important it is, because people out there trying to get help are being taken advantage of every day. And these practices have been people using marketing dollars to get onto the top of different searches within the internet, and going as far as using even our name, you know, and saying they're us and not, and all sorts of different unethical practices that are going on out there. And Google and Facebook have done an incredible job of actually, they did a cease and desist on all of it. So they took everybody off and said, you can't, there's no more the Google search, you can't pay for it. You have to actually apply. And to apply to get to that, because at this point when you're a consumer, you go and you think whoever goes to the top must be the best, and unfortunately they've been taken advantage of over and over again.
How do people avoid being taken advantage of?
Well, with Google and Facebook taking care of this piece in terms of that, that's going to help. So the people that are legitimate are going to be at the top of the Google and Facebook kind of when they search for this. But really asking key questions. Are they in network with their insurance company? Do they have outcomes? Do they look, what do they do for ongoing recovery? What are their outcomes? What are the services? If the services they're providing are related to just something, it doesn't have an evidence-based practice. What are the evidence-based practices they're using? What are the credentials of their staff? I mean, these are really important questions to ask. And at the end of the day, it's not, we still have a long ways to go. Because at the end of the day, you can still put on your website that you have 80% recovery rates, and there's nobody there to say that you don't.
Right.
What will Oregon Recovers do? Tell us about that.
So Oregon Recovers wants to take, first let me just stress that this is less of a problem in Oregon than I think it is nationally, and I don't want anyone to not pursue treatment because they're concerned about being taken advantage of. And like everything in life, talk to your friends and your family. 78% of Oregonians know someone struggling. Odds are you know somebody who's been down this road before, and just do a little due diligence. We live in an age, people post stuff on Facebook, you know, ask around. Knowing someone who's gone through a program is probably the best reference that you can possibly get. Oregon's system here is fractured and incomplete. There are good providers, but there just aren't enough of them, and they're not well aligned with recovery centers. And so what we're looking to do is just transform the whole system and create a recovery-based continuum of care that recognizes addiction as a chronic disease requiring a lifetime of recovery management, or at least 5 years. And so the way we're going to do that is by getting the state to advance this strategic plan with hopefully implementation by 2020. In the meantime, though, if your family member is suffering, if you're concerned, reach out to other people. Recovery is all about asking other people for help, and it is the beauty of my recovery is I have a whole community of people, and call the 800 number that they put up, call AA, Google AA and call, there's always someone at the call center there. 12 steps work for some of us, they don't work for everyone. They can work for a year and then you look to do something else. There are other forms of recovery. There's Refuge Recovery. The Alano Club here in Portland is a great place to go. It brings in all of the forms of recovery into one place. So there's multiple types of meetings. There's peer mentors on staff. Here in Portland, we're fortunate to, and in the Tri-County area, we have recovery centers for people to go to. But don't let headlines, which are legitimate, keep you from trying to figure out where to go. And if nothing else, I mean, actually, you should start by talking to your primary care person. They should be able to refer you to a really good place. Unfortunately, many of our doctors are neither trained nor interested in doing that.
We only have about a minute and a half left, but Heidi, this is such a huge challenge. It's really going to take all of us. How can people become part of the solution here?
Really, in any way, I think people talking about it. So for people that are in recovery, speaking their story is huge. You know, for so long, people have stayed in the shadows and stayed anonymous, and we really need people to say proudly that they're in recovery. There's that. There's the walk.
The Walk for
We
Recovery,
have a walk coming up.
September 29th, Oregon Recovers. Go to www.oregonrecovers.org or walk #4 recovery. And it's a great opportunity for people in recovery to be with other community members. It's also a great opportunity for family members and colleagues who want to be supportive. I often get asked, what can I do? My friend's 6 months in recovery. I want to be there for them. What can I do? Sign up for the Walk for Recovery. Put together a team in your workplace or amongst your family. Nothing sends a message stronger than saying, I want to be there for you.
Yep.
And people can weigh in on this framework that's coming up.
Absolutely. So this Thursday, the Alcohol and Drug Policy Commission for the state of Oregon is going to adopt the framework that we have suggested, hopefully. And if you go to their website, the Alcohol and Drug Policy Commission, if you just Google it, it'll give the phone number you can call into or the room where the meeting's going to be here in Portland. I think it's a great opportunity for people to come and be a part of that process.
And Heidi, quickly, can you give us your website?
Absolutely, www.hazeldenbettyford.org.
And do you have a website as well?
www.oregonrecovers.org.
And we want to give you that phone number again to call for help, 1-800-273-8255. That's the number for Lines for Life. I want to thank you both for being here on Straight Talk. Good luck with this project. It's really important. And we'll hope you'll join us next week when my guest is Portland City Commissioner Chloe Eudaly. We'll see you next week for Straight Talk. Have a great week.